So if you didn't see the very first episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury, something very, very interesting happened. No, it wasn't the talking dinosaur, that's not the topic of the video, unfortunately. Maybe that will be visited eventually. But it was the appearance of the Morphin Masters. That's right, the Morphin Masters. Now, way back in October, I made a video on the Morphin Masters with their small role in Mighty Morphin and their role in the comics and the expanded universe, or whatever you want to call that. And I talked about how they have never been brought up in Mighty Morphin ever since then. I called them kind of a MacGuffin or a throwaway plot point. But in Dino Fury, they were brought up in Zato's flashback, which is very, very interesting, and the role they play in that flashback. So, in this video, you're going to get a quick crash course on the Morphin Masters and Mighty Morphin, and what they did in Dino Fury. Now, I will bring up the comics in this video, but that's mostly talking about their appearance and how they look very similar to Praetor from the Boom Studio comics. But before we get into today's video, it'd be much appreciated if you could hit that like button. It helps the video out, it puts the channel in the algorithm so more Power Ranger fans can discover these videos and discover this channel and see if they like it or not. And if you do like the channel, hit that big red subscribe button. It helps me out a lot and it's much appreciated. With that said, on with the video. So, the Morphin Masters that appeared in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers over 20 plus years ago. They were kind of a throwaway character that were brought up in Zordon explaining the plot of the episode, but here's the crash course of the Morphin Masters that were in that episode. So they're a group of 4 ancient sorcerers who threw the power eggs in a chest into the sea millions of years ago. What are the power eggs? They're not important unless Dino Fury makes them important, and then, whoa, that'd be something. So, they were hiding this power and these mystical eggs to stop evil from finding them and stopping them from the forces of evil like Zed and Rita and stuff like that. And then the Morphin Masters were never ever brought up ever again. Until the comics. So, the Morphin Masters in the comics are very interesting with what they did in that flashback. Despite Beyond the Grid being a weird arc, they made some interesting choices with their powers. So, somewhere out in the universe, there was a planet full of Zeo crystals, like a whole planet full of Zeo crystals, and the Morphin Masters didn't want any of the bad guys out in the universe getting a hold of that planet full of Zeo crystals, because that would be bad. So what they did, they gathered that one half of the galaxy of the Splintered Star, I believe the planet's called, and they severed its connection to the Morphin Grid and created an entirely new universe so no one could ever find it. So what the Morphin Masters were doing, they basically split off that part of the galaxy, created an entirely new universe so no bad guys could get their hands on it. Except for one, Praetor, but we'll talk about him another day. So, it's very interesting that the Morphin Masters have never been brought up. They've never played a major role in the comics or the TV show, but now in Dino Fury they have. But what's interesting about the look of the Master Morphers in Dino Fury, they look very, very similar to Praetor with how he looked in the comic when we saw him in Flashback Land when he was a Morphin Master back in the day. Now, another interesting note, someone on Twitter asked Simon Bennett, whose idea was it about the Morphin Masters, or did they have to go through Hasbro and do any loops and hoops to have them appearing in the show? And he responded back with, I'm pretty sure it was Judd Lynn's idea. So, I think that's really cool that Simon and Judd are diving deep into the Power Rangers lore, taking out stuff that has not been seen or heard of for thousands of years, not thousands, well, over 30 years, and bringing it into the Power Rangers universe once again, making it, connect with current seasons, because the last time the Morphin Masters were brought up was a dinosaur season. Currently, we're in a dinosaur season, so ain't that a coinky-dink? Anyway guys, what are your thoughts of the Morphin Masters showing up in Power Rangers Dino Fury? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What else do you think is going to appear in Power Rangers Dino Fury that might be connected to other past Power Ranger dinosaur seasons? Because there's a lot they can dig into, so who knows what we'll find out in this season as we move forward with future episodes. But with that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to all the members such as Swagger4. If you want to get your name shouted out like Swagger4, hit that join button and become a member. For a Zord tier member or higher, it gets you a shout out in the video, it helps out the channel, it keeps the lights on, all that good stuff. Your support is greatly appreciated, even if you hit the buttons in any shape or form. With that said, I'm going to wrap this video up now. Thanks for watching and see you around. Bye!